This coveted award has been hotly contested this year. In fact, I can think of only one other Channel 4 phone vote this year which has received more callers. And the shortlist is the Prime Minister, Tony Blair, the Leader of the Opposition, David Cameron, former teaching assistant, Aisha Azmi, peace activist, Brian Hoare, Army Chief of Staff, General Sir Richard Dannett, and Archbishop of York, Dr. John Sentamu. Here to present the award, please welcome Master of Comedy, Satire and much more, Mark Thomas.
Thank you very much. It is the Channel 4 News Award for the most politically inspiring figure of the year, voted for by Channel 4 viewers. It's not going to be Tony Blair or David Cameron, we know that. We just do. So I'm delighted with the person who's won this, because it's Brian Hoare, the peace campaign.
Why don't we do what they talk about elsewhere on Channel 4? Look at some of your best bits.
Yeah. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
We have the right of freedom of expression. Where, if you can't do it here outside Parliament, where can you do it?
War means tears. The thousands of mothers died.
Sorry, people, you can't see what our bombs do to people anymore. You can't see it.
What is it good for? Absolutely. Get sad again.
They were wrong. They were completely and utterly wrong. My name's Brian Hoare, and I'm known all over our country, all over the world. And my ugly mug has been shown all over the world, and of course this art is not very well.
Your address is formally recognised as Parliament Square. What is it like to live here?
I came here on June the 2nd, 2001. You wouldn't want to swap houses. You wouldn't want to swap houses. Yeah. It's hell living. Utter bloody hell. And the hardest thing of all is the hard hearts.
Is it hard to get the message across to the government, even here?
It's like a moat, and there's a wall of steel, there's a river of steel going past here, and it's very difficult getting across. And a few brave souls make it. This is the island of democracy, this is.
What war crimes are this country guilty of?
Our country is committing infanticide, genocide, torture, looting nations. It's what we do. It's what we've always done. Great Britain, genocidal Britain. Check it out.
Has our country always been this way?
Well, I tell you what, that murderous old bastard Winston Churchill, the warmonger, said George Orwell, not war, war. He also said, I don't understand the squeamishness about the use of gas. I'm wholeheartedly in favour of using poison gas against uncivilised native tribes. He was talking about the people of Iraq, the Kurdish, Arabian villages, just like the ones in Halajma, just the same people. Winston Churchill gassed 9,000. They executed Saddam Hussein a while back, and it wasn't for what he was alleged to have done, gassed the Kurdish people, 5,000 people in Halajma, amongst other things. He didn't want to give that message because too much would come out. Too much about Rumsfeld selling him all the weapons, etc., etc. So when he was chairman of a pharmaceutical company, yes? Yeah. Too much dirt to show, eh?
What do you think was Tony Blair's biggest mistake?
Being born. He started off as a baby. We all did. And for Tony Blair, it was all downhill from that moment onwards. He's a father. A Christian, a human being. He's doing that to our neighbours' babies. That That is called depleted uranium munitions.
Yeah.
It's our war material. It's made of our nuclear waste. We've scattered thousands of tons of that shit.
If not for freedom, what was the real reason for the UK declaring war against Iraq?
Bomb, burn, bugger, beggar your neighbour.
How do MPs react to your protest?
How can the people walk by like the Pharisee and the Sadducee in the Good Samaritan story? How I've seen the bishops and the priests walking by on the other side of the road. You want to see them? Does it take some blinkers to be walking all the way from there to there, and there's 40, 50 metres display, and they don't have one glance? And what does it show? The murdered children. As you do to the least, you do to me, Jesus. And the pictures of the children. Pax USA, UK shame. All God's children, all the same. And there's some pictures of God's children who we bombed. We bombed.
You have some horrifying images on display. How do the public react?
The detective sergeant comes from Charing Cross to ask me to put this down, to stop it being seen. He's had a complaint from a lady and her child. And I said, it's causing her harassed alarm and distress. I said, well, so it should. If you're a human being, if that doesn't distress, harass and alarm you, then I don't know what will. It's offensive, he says. I said, yes, it is offensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who is the offender? Who is the offender? The ones who did that to that baby? Or the ones who are saying, stop it? Go and arrest bloody Blair. Go and arrest George Brown. Go and arrest the monsters who are doing this to their neighbours' babes. Go and do your duty, officer.
What is the importance of free speech?
Infanticide, genocide, torture are absolutely unlawful. Therefore, positive, peaceful expression, witness against infanticide, genocide, torture has to be absolutely unfettered, unhindered, what's the rest of it? Uncontrolled, unqualified. These, it's a mixture of legal words and common sense, and I'm not speaking anything strange, am I? Infanticide, genocide, torture are absolutely unlawful. The lawyers, you see, they speak in generic terms, and they say, yes, you have this right of freedom of expression under the Human Rights Act, but it's not unqualified, it's not absolute. But I dare to suggest, in this instance, when we're talking about infanticide, genocide, torture, this is absolutely wrong. Am I right? Shall we have a selective genocide? Can you do a genocide against one group of people or not? Does anybody know what the law says about genocide? I'm saying to Lord Chief Justice Phillips, imagine, for example, a survivor from one of Hitler's death camps was giving witness in our country, and the police on the streets were harassing, intimidating, violently attacking this person. And in the courts, attempts were made to hinder, to fetter, to qualify, to control. Wouldn't that be awful? I'm asking you. And I'm asking all these bent, corrupt, Jewish lawyers and judges. I'm asking them, because they should bloody know, shouldn't they? They should know. I said, that's exactly what's happening. Outside our parliament, we are bearing witness against infanticide, genocide, torture, etc., against another Semitic people, the Muslim people, the Arab people this time. It is no different.
Is our government trying to remove our right to free speech?
SOCPA 2005, Serious Organised Crime and Policing Act. It's supposed to be for dealing with the big bad criminals, you know, the big baddies. Do you know who was it used against? Bab Stucker, myself. The peacemakers. It's a war against the peace people because they had nothing to control us with. It's the same as Hitler did in Nazi Germany. He wrote a law to stop people speaking. That's what you do first.
You were recently in the news over the seizure of your personal property.
The commissioner on behalf of Tony Blair, who told him to do it, stole everything we had, including all my personal property, my identification, and Bab's personal property, and your most, they nicked it all. So I said, well, no, I can't produce the driver licence. The commissioner, the passport, and the commissioner nicked it. It's not a normal case, is it? And I said, and here's a copy of the JR, Judicial Review at the High Court. And here you can see I'm pursuing the Commissioner through the courts for the theft. Because he didn't show a warrant, a court order, didn't show any legal justification when he took all this. Just grab and run. No recording of what was taken, no receipt given of your property, no telling you where it's been taken, just grab and run. Thrown in a shipping container. Just like the people steaming through the shopping centre, grabbing what they want. It's 78 thieves. Babs Tucker, the awesome spirit of Australia. She's only a little lady in pink. Yeah, her pretty pink banner, as I told you. Love, peace, justice for all on Easter Sunday, thrown in the gutter by 10 policemen calling her a serious organised criminal for wearing that pretty big banner on Easter Sunday. 2 Easter Sundays ago now. 2 years of power has passed. She's in prison for standing outside the gates of our parliament with her placard that she's made, and it says, "Blood on your hands." And it shows all the war criminals, all the ones who are getting rich out of this war, who did it, all the culprits, just for identification to help the police, you know, so they can arrest them. People like George Bush, Tony Blair.
Is there anyone in a position of power that is on your side?
Lord Justice Moses, now he's a good one, there are some good ones. In the Royal Courts of Justice on the 1st of October 2002, he says, obstruction? What obstruction? There's no obstruction. No one goes over that side of the road. You can't get across. There's no pedestrian crossings. Now tell me, what's the real reason Westminster Council are prosecuting Mr. Hall? I really want to know this one. And there's such a... They didn't tell him. Nobody came up with the answer. He said, no, I'm not going to order Mr. Hall to be summarily thrown out. We will have a court hearing. And we did so on the 4th of October, a few days later, 2002. And it was Justice Gray, High Court judge. And he wasn't as charismatic, as charming and beautiful as Judge Lord Justice Moses and I. But he was good in his own way. And do you know what he said? He said, so you say there was a wall here. There was 45 metres display manifestation called the Westminster United Nations Art Gallery, and there was expressions from all over the world. Yeah, there was one good one from Ireland. I painted it on Paddy's Day, all in green and gold and black and white. And he said, God bless Ireland. This is an Englishman who's put the E back in Ireland. It's not a bad idea, is it? I'm told air, I can't pronounce it. Yeah. Means peace. Yeah. And we've changed it to Io, which means trouble and strife. And yeah, that's fitting, isn't it? Englishman, God bless Ireland. Bombs and bullets out of here. Right for there, right for everywhere. Make peace, not war. Marvellous it was. I've got all the property. They're all destroyed over the period of time, but every nation's been represented here. Expressions in 25, 30 different languages from everywhere. Marvellous.
Is there enough support to make a difference?
Where is everybody? Everybody agrees with us, and yet here we are, 60 million people in the country, and most of them have agreed with us, and there are 2 of us. What is this bollocks?
Any final words?
Genocide of Iraq infants. Innocents. USA GB, stop now.
What is the way forward?
The way forward? Yeah, jaw, not war, Tokyo. Hope, salam, Adam, Jamir. Love, peace, justice for all. We have to talk.
Bye.